Hey there everyone, it's Kathy Champion and you are back with me on my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stamping. Thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Please hit that subscribe button. I am trying to grow my channel, so every subscription helps me get to that 1,000 mark, which if anyone knows, that's like a major milestone, and then I can start getting endorsements on my channel, and it just really helps me to bring more quality videos to all of you. And teaching stamping, card making, and paper crafting is my love, and I do enjoy this so much. And I just want to thank you all for being a part of my crafty family. I appreciate you so much. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Gastonia, North Carolina, and I don't have a host code to show you here because I'm recording this on Monday, the 15th of March, and what I need to do is I need to wait until tonight to close out the first host code that runs through the 15th, and I will have a new one tomorrow. So I will make that change when I edit this video, and I'll put that host code in for everyone. So you will see it in the video, but I just don't have it to flash on the screen or to show you on a piece of paper. But what that host code does, it puts you in the drawing. Any purchase will put you in the drawing. It's the Darling Donkey stamp set. And I'm sure that y'all have seen it because I've showed it quite a few times, and it is just absolutely adorable little stamp set. I'm so sorry I don't have it to show you, but I do want to tell you about the promotion that's going on. Any purchase on my online store using the current host code, your name will get in the drawing for the Darling Donkey stamp set. But if you spend $50 before or more before shipping and tax, you will also receive a thank you card from me along with a little gift, a token of appreciation. And that also helps me in growing my business, as well as being able to bring more quality videos to all of you. So what I want to show you today is we're going to be working with this little Woodland Wonder stamp set. This stamp set is adorable, and it's one that I feel is being overlooked in the spring mini catalog. So this is a photopolymer stamp set. So these are our images, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move my stamp case out of the way. I'm going to move my cardstock out of the way because I want to center in. When I work with these, I use a piece of packaging tape to attach my acrylic sheet to the base, and I just fold it back and lay it like that when I'm stamping so that I can peel the stamps off fairly easy. But this is the card, and it opens up like this. So it is a very long card, but you can see the beautiful little tree. This was all colored with alcohol markers. I did make this a happy birthday card, but I think I'm going to do something different with the one today. But I thought this was absolutely stunning. So I am going to proceed to tell y'all how to do this. But before we do, I had pulled out this terracotta, not terracotta tile, Pretty Peacock paper that I wanted to use for my background paper. Well, when I was pulling it out, I thought I need to let y'all know that these were our end colors for 2019 through 21. So we have Rococo Rose, Terracotta Tile, Seaside Spray, Pretty Peacock, and Purple Posy. These cardstocks are going away when the new catalog comes out. And what will happen, we will get 5 new end colors. So Stampin' Up does this with their what is called end colors, and we always have 10 end colors, and every year one goes away, and then we still have, last year we were introduced to 5 colors, and they were Bumblebee, Misty Moonlight, Just Jade, Just Jade, Magenta Madness, and Cinnamon Cider. those will still be with us for another year before they will retire out. So I have to say that I am going to miss the most my Rococo Rose, because I am in love with that Rococo Rose. It's like a beautiful dusty rose, and I just think it's stunning. The other one that I'm going to miss is the Seaside Spray. This was my go-to during the winter for making anything that had snow on it. Even though it said it's Seaside Spray, this was just a beautiful frosty color to use with your snowflakes and things like that. So I will miss these colors, but I'm also very excited for the new ones. But I wanted to let you know that if any of these colors are your favorite, and the cardstocks aren't the only thing that's going away, any of our designer series paper that features any of these colors, our Stampin' Blend markers, our Stampin' Write markers, our ink pads, and the ink refills, those are all going to be going away. So if you have a favorite, and you want to grab it up before it's gone, now would be the time to go ahead and order, because once that list goes out, these items are going to fly off the shelf, and they will be gone very, very soon. So just wanted to throw that out there so you would know. And we are going to get started on working on our card, but before we do, I know y'all are going to see this little boo-boo that I have on my hand. I accidentally ran into the corner of the cabinet, or the counter in my kitchen, and it happened to be on a sharp edge. And my whole body weight went into my hand when I did it, and I made quite a boo-boo on my hand, but I would cover it, but I'm trying to allow it to get air so it can heal. I have been treating it, I have been putting Neosporin on it, and I definitely have been cleaning it with peroxide, and I've been putting alcohol on it to try to help dry it up. So I didn't want you to be concerned and think that, I had something really bad going on. It was my klutziness. I am so clumsy. Anybody that knows me knows that I have 2 left feet. Although I used to could dance really well when I was younger, but that's beside the point. I'm klutzy. I'm just a total klutz. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to our sizes of our cardstock before I ramble any further. How about that? So let me pull out my notes. What you're going to need is you're going to need 2 pieces of colored cardstock, your choice. And I picked the Pretty Peacock because I think it's pretty, and I thought that it may play well in the colors that I'm choosing. But as I'm thinking about it, maybe I want to go lighter. What if we make this look more springy? Let's use a daffodil. Let's use a Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to go into my brights. I just changed my mind on the fly, y'all. Y'all know how I am. Here is our Daffodil Delight. And I was looking to see if I had a piece already cut, and I don't. But this is good because I can show you exactly how I cut this off. So let's bring our trimmer in. And I'm going to zoom y'all back out a little bit so you can see. We're going to need 2 pieces of this that are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That is basically a half a sheet of this. So we're going to put this in at 4 1/4, just like that. And I love this trimmer because you have your marks that go all the way down, so that way you don't have to worry about it being wonky when you cut it. You put it on that 4, put it right there on that line, push it all the way up, and you've got a lip up here that's going to catch it. You close down your bar and you slice. So we have 4 1/4. So now all we're going to do is turn this on the 11-inch side, and we're going to cut it in half at 5 1/2. I mean 5 1/2. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm not having a good morning so far, am I? Maybe I need more coffee. All right, I'm going to slice that up. And this is going to give us our 2 pieces that are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So 2 pieces like that. And I'm going to lay that back over there. Now, our other pieces that we need, you're going to need 1 piece of white that is 4 by 5 1/4, because this is going to actually mat on the front of one of these, just like that. Let me zoom y'all back in so you can see better what I'm doing. Okay, and then you're going to need this piece that is 4 inches by 11 inches, and we're going to put this in our trimmer, or you can use a scoreboard, but I'm going to show you how versatile it is to use this as our trimmer. So we're going to put this in, we're going to score it at 5 1/4, so 5 1/4, and we're going to use our gray blade. That's this one right here. That's your scoring blade. So I'm going to score it, and then we're going to move it down and we're going to score it at 10. Get it right on that 10-inch mark. Make sure you're up into the groove and score. So then we're just going to fold these score lines in, and let's get our bone folder. Because anytime you're doing any sort of fancy fold card, the one thing you want to do is always use your bone folder, because this will ensure that we get really nice, crisp edges, just like that. So, and what you want to make sure is that everything, see, that's a little bit wonky right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bone folder and just push that up, just like that. So it's, you have to, sometimes you have to train your paper. So now we have this little fold. Actually, this one's going to go this way. You got this little fold that should look like that. Your little 1-inch lip there, and then you have this section and then this section. Okay? And if you notice, this is how this is going to work. So we are going to glue this to the top of this, and we are going to glue this to the top of that. And it's going to, let me show you how we're going to do that, because it's going to be a very simple. You can use your snail, or not, I'm sorry, it's not snail anymore. You can use your Stampin' Seal, or you can use liquid glue. I'm opting for liquid glue, and I'll tell you why. It gives me some wiggle room so that I can get this lined up just like I want it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lay down a piece of our Daffodil Delight, just like this, and it's going to go down on here, making sure that you've got that even border all the way around. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our liquid glue, and you want to get enough on here that adheres it, but you don't want it to be too oozy. So I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to just lay this onto my yellow, that beautiful Daffodil Delight. Isn't that gorgeous yellow? It looks springy, and that's why I changed my mind with that dark, pretty peacock. I thought this card looks too springy to be, you know, showing it on something so dark. So I'm using my bone folder just to get that adhered. And now what we're going to do is we're going to turn this around, and we're going to put adhesive right here, just on this 1-inch piece. And then we're going to take our other piece of Daffodil Delight. And what works really good is if you line this up at the top, get these two pieces lined up, and then just bring this down, and then press this. And then when you open this up, you have your fold. And then this piece will go on here, but we got to do some stamping. So let's close our glue, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out my Stampin' Pierce mat, and you might ask me why, because we're using photopolymer stamps. Anytime you're using photopolymer stamps, it's a good idea to have some type of mat under your work project. So let's just pull that off. And I'm starting out with the tree, and I'll tell you why. We want to get this tree, and I am going to bring in a little piece of my scrap paper, to put over top of this because we are going to be stamping to the bottom. Now what I want to do is I want this to come all the way over to this edge as far as I can get it without it being off the page. And I want the edge of that to go down right to the edge of that cardstock. So I'm going to pick up my image. I wonder if it will. No, it won't fit on that one. This is why you need a variety of stamp blocks, and you're going to see that today because you're going to need the stamp block that's going to fit your project the best. Now I'm going to use Early Expresso. Okay, so the reason I want this piece of scrap paper under my cardstock is because we want to stamp this down as far to the bottom, maybe with just a tiny bit of a hangover. And we're going to pull this over just a little bit because I want it to go as far over to this side of the card as possible. And you're going to want to always stamp in this particular card, you're going to want to stamp the top of the tree first. The reason for that is it's going to be very important to get that lined up just like we want it. So let's zoom in just a little bit. Just like that, and I'm going to go ahead and ink my stamp up with Early Expresso. So I'm trying to get this all in here so you can see it, but I did go and put a band-aid on my little boo-boo because I had bumped it against something and it hurt quite bad. So a little Neosporin and a band-aid, and I will take it off again a little bit later this afternoon. But anyway, I am going to ink this up really good, and then I'm gauging the edge here and the bottom of my piece of white cardstock. So what I want to do is get it over, and then I'm going to place it down, and I'm giving it a good gentle press, and then straight up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful image. So let me, since we're going to be stamping quite a bit, I'm going to leave my Stampin' Scrub open. I mean, not my Stampin' Scrub, my Simply Chamois. I'm using that today because I'm just going to do a quick clean on these. And like I told you, I will go back and clean. Now, any of our pigment inks are going to stain your stamps just a little bit. You're going to get some staining no matter what color. Now, some of them do clean off better than others, but any of our dark colors, you're going to have some staining. It doesn't mean that the stamp is bad. It just shows that you've used it and it's well loved. That's what I always say about a stamp like that. Okay, the next thing I want to do, let's pull in our card, and we are going to want to, with the yellow piece up, with that little flop right here, we're going to want to adhere this onto your card. Now, I would suggest to use some temporary adhesive, and I do have some. This is the glue dots, and this is a temporary adhesive. Works really good. You can take it up, reposition it, but we're going to put adhesive on this once we get everything stamped. So I'm just going to come right here, and I'm just going to put a piece right there, just a piece in the middle, and I'll show you how great this does. So what I want to do is I want to get this centered as though I was committed to putting it down, which I'm not yet. But see, that is on there enough now where we can see where our lines are at. So the next thing you're going to want to do, I'm going to move that ink pad out of my way so I don't put my hands in it. We're going to need to get the body of the tree, the long piece, and that piece is pretty expansive. It's pretty long, you can see. But we want to stamp this so that it meets up perfectly with that stamp right there. So I'm going to show you a little secret that will help you do that. I like to take a ruler and lay it right down beside there and use your mechanical pencil or whatever pencil you like, and I'm coming down right below that yellow cardstock, the Daffodil Delight, and I'm making a line. And I'm going to do the same thing over here and make a line. that's going to give me a guideline as to where to sit the stamp down when I get ready to stamp it. So see how much easier that's going to make it to line that up. And yes, you're going to have a little bit of a hangover or an overlap right here at the fold, and that's okay. In fact, that's exactly what we're looking for. So now I'm going to fold this piece back, and let's see, maybe we'll do it like this. I think if we do this in a vertical positioning, that will be a much better way of getting this lined up. Now we're going to need this longer stamp block, and this one is this is the I stamp block, and this one is long but narrow, and it's perfect for picking up any stamps that you have a length to. So we're going to pick that up, and this time I'm going to take my early Expresso and I'm going to take the ink pad to the stamp. And I'm just going to get a good inking on that. And then we are going to line this up as best as we can. And I'm giving that a nice gentle press. And then we're going to lift it straight up. And that looks pretty good. That looks really good. In fact, you can't hardly tell where my pencil lines are. I can see them if I look very closely. So I'm going to let that dry a minute before I erase that, because I'm afraid it will smudge. But that looks pretty daggone good. So now I'm going to go ahead and just wipe this off. This is the good thing about the chamois. You can just take it like this and scrub your stamps down, and it cleans them so well. There's no ink left. And I did lift that up, didn't I? The photopolymer stamps are very sticky, but there's no ink residue left on that at all, and that's wonderful. That's exactly what we're looking for. So now I'm going to put that one back on our acrylic sheet, and we're going to grab the bottom of the tree. Now the bottom of the tree, I'm going to grab a different stamp block for it, and for this one I'm grabbing the D, and let's get it lined up nice and straight. Let's bring our card back over. And now what I want to do is I want to line that up as close to that line as I can get it. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to give myself the guidelines again. Even though we're not doing it separate, this will definitely help ensure that you're getting it lined up. Just gives you a little bit of a spacer there that really does help you. So I'm going to ink up my stamp, and then I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Let me close this ink pad, or at least move it out of my way. And of course I got ink on my fingers. Y'all know I always do. So I am going to bring this right here, and just as perfectly as I possibly can, I'm going to put it down, give it a good press, good firm press, and up. And that's pretty daggone good too. I love that. So I think we did pretty good. So I'm going to go back up here with my eraser, and I'm going to erase that pencil mark right there and right there. And then I'm going to come down here and erase that one and that one. So now we have our entire tree stamped, so we are getting there. And this is so stinking cute. I'm going to zoom y'all out so hopefully you can get the full effect. There we go. And look how stinking cute that is. But we've got some more elements that we want to stamp on here. So I am going to clean up this stamp, Sorry for the squeaking. That's the only bad thing about that. It does squeak quite a bit when you're cleaning your stamps, but hey, you know what they always say, squeaky clean. So the next thing I'm going to want to do is, they have the cutest little rabbit that looks like he is peeking out from around this tree. Look at that. Isn't that precious? So I am going to stamp him down. And I want this particular stamp block, so I had to take something off of it. But I'm going to put him on nice and straight like that. Let's sit my ink way over here so I don't get my hand in it. And now we are going to stamp him just like so. Oh, so stinking cute. Love it. Okay, we still have some other elements that we want to put on here. So the other one is, we have this little banner that hangs from a little post. So we're going to put the post right there. And that's going to give us a place for the banner to hang. Let's come down about to there. Let me look at my other card, how I've spaced it. Yeah, I put it right up under the raccoon, so we can go up just a little bit. Yeah, let's go up to about there. And let's go ahead and pick that up. And we're going to ink it up, still using that early Expresso. And you want to get over as close as you can to that, to the tree, so it looks like it's attached to the tree. Now we're going to use our Stampin' Blends on this, and also I want y'all to know, hang with me to the end of this video, because I have another card that I want to show you where you can use the same fold for any card that you want to make. So don't give up on me, stick with me, and I've got this other card that I'm absolutely loving to bring to you and show you. Alright, we got the little banner. Here's our little banner. So I want that to go right there, because I want those little knots, or the little ties, to look like they're above that little piece right there. So again, I'm going to grab a stamp block that this will fit on. And let's bring this up to about there and stamp it down. So stinking cute. I'm loving this stamp set. If you haven't gotten this stamp set, and especially if you have grandkids, oh my gosh. Well, they love a card with all of these little cute little critters on it. Sorry about that. I dropped the entire stamp block and I had to go fishing for it. Alright, so we're going to put that one back on there. And we've got this little flag. And I think we're going to do the little yay flag maybe right about here. Because I want to use up as many of these elements as I possibly can on this card, because, hey, they're cute. They're so cute, and why wouldn't you want to use these? Now see, I didn't get that quite over far enough, but we're going to come back in with the Stampin' Right marker. These are our water-based markers, and they are fantastic. And what we'll do is we'll just draw that, the rest of that in. Let's see if we can do it now. I'm going to actually use my ruler to make sure that I'm getting it right where I want it. And then I'm going to use the fatter end of that and just draw that in so it looks like it's all the way down to the tree. That worked really good. And this is also the early Expresso. So again, there's that color coordination that you do not get with any other products like you do Stampin' Up. Alright, the next thing we want to do, I've got these little notes, little song notes. And if you notice, our little bird's got its mouth open because he is just a singing. So we're going to put these little musical notes right here. right about there. So again, I'm going to ink them up, and I'm going to come in right about here and stamp those down. Little Tweety bird right there. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so I've got my notes, and we also have a balloon. Now, how cute would it be to have about 3 balloons coming off from our little thing right here? This is going to be a celebration card, so we want whoever gets this card to celebrate life, celebrate whatever is good in your life. And you know, we all have something to be thankful for. Even in this pandemic, we all have something to be thankful for. I am thankful that my husband, myself, and all of my immediate family, my children, my grandchildren, have not been affected by this pandemic and this awful coronavirus. I'm going to stamp that down right there. And I'm going to stamp another one going in this direction. And I think I want one more, and it's going to go up this way, and we're going to draw in our streamer. Ah, how stinking cute is that? Love it. This is definitely a party and a card, and I can so see this for any child's birthday party. You know, I've got a child's birthday coming up, and I'm wondering if they would not love this card, so maybe I might still consider it to be a birthday card. Thinking. All right, I'm going to go ahead now, and I want to stamp our clouds. So in order to do, well, before we do that, let's go back in and let's draw this streamer right here. Down to there. Oh, it looks so pretty and so festive. Now I'm going to turn this like this, and I'm going to hold it down like that. And I'm going to use some Balmy Blue for my little clouds, because I'm going to use Balmy Blue in my clouds. So I thought, why not use that for this? So there's my blue, and I'm thinking, no, we still got a couple more things to stamp with the early Expresso, so I'm not ready to get rid of those just yet. So clean that off. And we'll get this on here a little straighter than it was, so we can get our other little elements to fit. This stamp set just is so much fun. It is just, wow, I can't even explain how much I love this particular stamp set. So we're going to put a cloud maybe right here. And let's do one maybe over here. And let's do one maybe right here. And let's do one right about here. Aren't those cute? So a reminder to all my Paper Pumpkin kit subscribers, our Paper Pumpkin should be coming. This month we have an extra special surprise because there's some stencils in there. And stamping those clouds is what reminded me of it. There's going to be a stencil for some mountains and some clouds and I think some stars. I forget what else is going to be in there, but I can't wait to get that that stamp set, because I think it's going to be, I mean, those stencils, I think they're going to be so much fun. So we got a little butterfly, so I'm going to stamp a couple of little butterflies fluttering around the tree. Oh, I made a boo-boo. let's see if we can get back in there and stamp that. Alright, I'm going to pull this down just for a minute so I can get over it. I made a boo-boo, so I'm going to try to correct it. Ah, not bad. That is hard to do, y'all, to stamp back over top of an image. So any of you that do stamping, you know what I'm talking about. But I did pretty good on that one. I'm pretty proud of myself. Oh, usually it never happens good on camera, you know that. Alright, so we got this little bitty butterfly. And I'm going to load him up on a little tiny stamp block. I think I am going to go ahead and do this for a birthday card. The reason I say that is I think what I want to do is I'm going to use the sentiment out of here that says, hope your day stacks up to be one good thing on top of another. And we're going to put happy birthday right over top of it. And I'm going to bring that down to about there. And let's get our little happy birthday. And I'm going to actually kind of connect these just by laying them on top of each other. And then we can use one stamp block to pick both of those up and ink it and stamp it. So pretty. So now let's go ahead and get this other little butterfly, and this is like a little sideways fluttering butterfly, and we're going to put him right about here. And let's do one more, maybe one right up here. So cute, so stinking cute. So you know what we got to do now? We got to do our coloring. Oh, so much fun. I love coloring, and we're going to use the Stampin' Blends. And yes, I did use the Stampin' ink pad. But if we draw this, I think we'd be careful, I think we can get away with that. So I'll put my Early Expresso ink back up. I'm going to get my sentiments off of here and stuck back onto my piece, because you know we don't like to lose our little stamps. That's never ever ever a good thing. Oh, and I wanted to tell y'all, I did I did find the stamp. It was laying right here beside me. This is the one that's going to be given away to a lucky drawer. Anyone that purchases any dollar amount out of my online store and they use the host code, you will be in the drawing to receive this stamp set. So my host code is going to go through, let's see, you're going to see this. The host code that you will see in this video will also get you in the drawing for the stamp set. So it will be a different host code than yesterday, but it will work because whoever uses either one of my March host codes will go in a drawing for that. And like I told you earlier, if you spend $50 or more, you'll get a thank you card and a small token of appreciation directly from me. That doesn't come from Stampin' Up. It will come directly from me, and they're mailed out the first week of the month following the current month that we're in. So we're in March, so these will be mailed out in April. So, all right, now let's use our heat tool, and we're going to set this. All I'm going to do is try to set this ink so we don't have to wait. If you can stamp this like one day and wait until the next day and then come back and color it, you'll be fine. But if you can't and you need to do it, you know, right away, just use your heat tool. This is our Stampin' Up heat tool, and this thing is great. This is also used for drying your watercolors. But the most important thing this is for heat embossing. And in my Stamping 101, we have not gotten there yet, but we will. And we will discuss all of the details of heat embossing. So y'all be on the lookout for that. If you want to refresh your course in heat embossing and using embossing powders and the Versamark ink along with our heat tool, stay tuned for that. That will be coming up probably in the next couple of videos. So this heat gun has two settings. It has 0 courses off, 1 is low, and 2 is high. Anytime I'm doing anything besides heat embossing, I use 1. Heat embossing always on 2 because you need it to get really good and hot. So I'm going to put it on 1, and I'm just going to dry this in for a little bit. And you just want to use circular motions. Just, you know, even though it will feel dry to your touch, the alcohol markers can still smudge this. So I always say it's better to be safe than sorry. So take the time and use your gun. And if your paper starts to curl, just turn it over and let's do it on the back side. I think we're good to go with that. All right, let's see how it does. We're going to start up here because this was the first thing that we stamped. So that's had a little bit longer time to actually set. So I'm going to grab out my old olive, and our Stampin' Blends come in a pack of 2. So you get a light and a dark with every color of our Stampin' Blends. So with the exception of our color lifter, which is the white one, and that one is sold separately. That is very beneficial. I've had people to ask me, what does it do? If you put too much ink down, you can actually go in and highlight the middle of something and lift that up and make it look like it's shaded. You can also, if you go outside your line and you need to clean it up, this is great for cleaning up around the edges. So that is a very beneficial marker to have in your arsenal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my fine tip. On these markers you have 2 tips. You have a fine tip and you have a brush tip. So they are dual-ended markers. So we're going to use, because we're working in a small area, we are going to, and I'm going to zoom y'all in a little bit more. And I'm probably not going to color this entire thing on camera because it will take too long. And I do not want to hold y'all up for that length of time. So I'm going to just come in, oh, I used the wrong one. Come in with your dark, with your finer tip, and all you want to do is make a line in those leaves where you've got lines. It's not rocket science, it's just basic coloring. So I'm just going to go through every one of these leaves and put my mark in the line, basically where your little vein would be in your leaf. So, and you will do this throughout the entire project. You're going to go in and just put in lines into your, like the tree trunk. I'm going to use the cinnamon cider for the tree, both light and dark. And I'm going to use the darker for my lines and the lighter to blend everything together. This makes a great way to shade and get dimension into your artwork. And you know, this is a form of art. Some people say, oh, it's just coloring and gluing paper, and how do you feel like that's art? You're not painting a picture. I am painting a picture with stamps and inks and markers. So there's all different forms of art, and it doesn't, one art doesn't diminish from the other. That's what I believe. So we're going to go in now and little circular motions. I'm going to start coloring those leaves. Now you want to be careful. Alcohol tends to seep out. So you want to stay into the center of your leaf as much as you can so you don't go outside the line. And just, these markers do make a little bit of a squeaking, especially the chisel tip. I don't get that when I use the brush tip. But all you want to do is just continue. So I'm going to speed this up, and y'all can just watch me color. Alright, if you noticed, I went out of line in a couple of places, right here and right here. I wanted to show you how this works to erase that. You just push the ink up and see how that just dissipates. And the same thing here, we're just going to push that ink up and it's gone. Just that easy. So this you can think of as a color lifter blender. It is called a color lifter, so it works fantastic for things like that. Now I'm going to do my little bird, and I'm going to do his beak first. So I'm going to go in with an orange, and I think this particular bird, I'm going to make him red. So, and I'm going to use my Poppy Parades for that. I think the reason I want to do the Poppy Parade, and I'm going to start off with the lighter. I just think this is a really pretty shade of red. It's almost like an orangey red. If you notice, I'm using the other tip for this. I am coming in and I'm just going around his head. The good thing about the Stampin' Blends, they do not cover up your lines. You can see his eyes still showing very well. I just see I missed a leaf. We'll go back in with that old olive and take care of that in just a moment. But I'm going to come in under his belly. Now this is all the lighter color. So I'm going to come back now with the dark. And for this one, I'm going in with the chisel tip, or that fine tip. And I want his tail feathers to be dark, and under here, and his wing. And then I'm going to come back with this one, and I'm just going to blend out the rest of him. Just like that. And when you got a small area, you most of the time can't tell the blending as good as you can when you have the larger images. And you'll see that when we get down to do our other ones. So, okay, we need the light green. And I did not get that leaf right there. So now we do. Alright, and look how pretty those leaves look. See how they look dimensional. And that little bird is so cute sitting up there in that tree. I love him. Alright, we are going to start now to color the trunk of our tree. So again, like I told you, I'm going to use cinnamon cider. This is one of our end colors for last year. And we have a dark and a light. I'm going to start out with my dark. And I'm going to go in the same way I did with the leaves. I'm going to hit these little marks all the way down. Our tree. And even over in here where we've got the limbs going out, we'll come back and get those too. So the same thing here, we're just going to hit these little lines with our dark marker. These little lines are put there to help us as colorists to be able to make this look really good by using our two-tone markers or our Stampin' Blends that come in a light and a dark. So your Stampin' Right markers don't come with a light and a dark. You have the early Expresso and that's it. So in this one you have early Expresso. No, we don't have an early Expresso in our markers. Not all of the markers depict the colors of the cardstock and the inks. You have a lot of them, but not all. So let's just keep going. Just like that. Making sure we're hitting all of those little lines. And that looks pretty daggone good. What do y'all think? Alright. So now I'm going to come back in with the cinnamon cider, and I'm going to actually use my brush tip. And I'm going to start up here. Let's start up at the very top. And all I'm going to do is just come in and lay down some color. And you just want to be careful and go around your little areas so as to not have it to bleed. You know, when you first get your Stampin' Blend markers, you might be a little intimidated by them, but I say stamp out images and just practice. Practice making your lines, practice some blending, and it won't take you any time at all before you will feel like you are an artist with these markers. I mean, they make it so easy to shade and do all of the beautiful things that we like to do as card makers and paper crafters. Now look how beautiful that looks. It looks like a tree. So we are going to fold this down like this, and I'm going to just continue going down the tree and around these little animals. Like I said, when you get to where the outline of the animals are, just go slow, and if you need to, switch to the other end of your marker. It's no biggie. You can switch to the other end of that marker if you feel like that you need to. And then we're just going to hit right there. Now I am going to switch right here because we've got this little bird's nest, and we've got a lot of little in-between places right there. So I'm just going to jag this up and down like that, because I'm going to come back and do that with a yellow or something similar color. So just continue to color. And like I said, I'm not going to put y'all through the entire process of watching me color this. I'm going to do my animals, and when I come back I will tell you what colors I used, and then we can go from there. But this is so cute, and can you see how beautiful it's coming together? And again, just using your strokes. And I'm using strokes on the tree because I'm hoping that my ink will help give me a little bit more of a dimension in the tree by not being so precise in making circular colors. Now when I get up here to the balloons, I'll definitely do circles on those because I'm going to want those to blend really good. So we're just going to keep going with this. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and close out just for a little bit and finish doing my coloring, and then we will meet back up and we'll go from there. And like I said, I'll have all the colors laid out. Oops, see what I just did? No problem, as long as I've got this color lifter. I'm just going to push that back in just like that. And once that dries, you will not be able to see it at all. So it's such a great way to fix your boo-boos. Alright, so we will meet back up here in just a little bit, and we will complete this card. And like I said, don't leave me, because I've got a really cute card that I made using the same layout that lends itself to a whole different concept. So we'll be right back. Alright, well I finished all of the coloring, and I got the sentiment stamped on here, and I chose the Happy Birthday from Itty Bitty Birthday, and this is the stamp set right here. And this is a really neat stamp set to use for when you need just a small area of a stamp. This works so great. And we also have an Itty Bitty Greetings that has a lot of other sentiments in it, and it's always good to have a lot of different sentiments in your stash, because you never know exactly what you want a card to say. So I actually sorted out my stamps this morning, and I put all of my sentiments in one place so that when I get ready to look for sentiment stamps, they're all in one spot, and it makes it much easier. So here is our card, and I think it turned out super cute. Let's pan out. Oops, wrong way. Let's pan out a little bit so you can see everything. And remove some of this stuff. And I'm going to lay the card like that so we can see the full length of it. I think it turned out so cute, and it folds up and it goes into a regular size envelope, which is going to be super cute to send. So I'm going to enjoy sending that card off to someone. But I promised you another card with that same fold. This is identical fold, but we're going to open it horizontally. And all I did was use some of the Buterfly Bijou paper. I chose this pattern with the green and the purple, and those that pretty peacock that I had started to use in the first card. I've used that color on this one. I used it with this green and purple, and I kind of paired that with the purple, and then I picked out one of the butterflies that cut out of that paper. And then here on the inside, I picked a piece of the paper that had some of the Rococo Rose and some of that beautiful green. And I took some of these vellum butterflies, and it's hard to see them on camera, but you can see up close. I've got dimensional butterflies on the inside right here. And then I cut a piece of the Rococo Rose and I layered it onto that white. And then I just stamped here another butterfly, and well, all I can say is thanks, because this one says thank you. And I love the way this turned out. So you can use the same fold in a multitude of different ways. So I hope you enjoyed this fold. I hope that you will give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I am trying my best to grow my channel and get it to the point where I have a good following of consistent people that watch and like and subscribe. So I hope everyone has an awesome rest of their day, and I hope you enjoyed me bringing you this card. I do remember one thing. Remember, we put this down with temporary adhesive? I just realized that we did not put that down, so I think we need to glue this down before we go any further. So I'm just going to use a little bit of, I just realized that when I saw the edges of it sticking up. We're just going to use a little Tombow and all-purpose liquid glue, and then I'm going to go ahead and line this up. I'm going to open it up to make sure. Yep, that looks really good. I wanted to make sure that my tree's lining up, and then press that down. And that card is all ready to go now. Anyway, thanks again so much for tuning in, for watching the making of this card. I'll have all of the dimensions and the products that I used in my description below. So click on that show more and you'll be able to look underneath here. You can actually copy and paste that into a Word doc and print it out so that you can have these to keep in your own records so that you can make this card anytime you like. So thanks again so much, and as I always say in closing, let everything you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is so worthy of our honor and our praise and our life. And until we craft again, God bless and keep you. Bye-bye.